If anybody here has ever been burned in a bad business relationship or has had the feeling that people were being less than honest with you, then our next guest is a fellow that you'll enjoy meeting. His name is Rick Bennett. He's the president of the Haygoth Corporation, and he has developed a new device which is called a voice stress analyzer. It works by the voice alone and by remote control. And Mr. Bennett says that by using it on your phone or in your office, you can tell when another person is deceiving you and when he or she is not. And according to the literature, it is unerring and can be used without the subject ever knowing it. He's brought one along with him tonight, and later on we'll demonstrate it and try and see if we can find out how it works. Rick, thank you for coming in tonight, sir. What does this thing do?
All right. Generically, there is no such thing as a lie detector. What this is a voice stress analyzer, and there are many things that can cause stress besides deception, such as stage fright or pain. And this is why in a business relationship where people are talking and conducting business, if you observe stress, the normal reaction is to start asking some questions, do some probing. And it's not necessarily to say you're lying, therefore you're fired because the lights went red. That's irresponsible. So this, what this does measure is an 8 to 14 cycle modulation in the voice.
No, but what you've just said is, this is an indicator rather than a judge.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, there's some legislation pending now really aimed at the Polygraph Society because they are running a lie detection operation, and there's been invasions of privacy, invasions of civil liberty, and we're not in the lie detector business. A, we're selling super toys to executives, and B, these toys happen to be cost justified, and you might use one 4 or 5 times a year to cost justify itself in a major negotiation, for example.
Did you say this was a toy?
Yes. I'd say 90% of our customers are businessmen, presidents of companies. We've got a number of actors who use them to negotiate personal service contracts. Anybody with a large amount of disposable income might want to filter things through this.
All right, if I got the guy who runs NBC on the line and we're talking money, and if he tells me an untruth to something I've said, and those lights go red, does that mean he is telling an untruth?
It certainly means that some questions are in order. For example, you might ask him, "You're my friend. Surely you're giving me the benefit of all of our friendship, and this is the highest you're willing to go, isn't it?" And if you continually observe stress, then you say, "You know something? I detected a hesitation in your voice when you made that last statement."
I'm watching your answer on the screen.
And if you'll notice, when both of us are silent, the lights are still moving, which means we're getting an incorrect feed from your from the studio.
Well, wait. Let's both keep still for a minute. Yeah, there's something else coming in. There's noise on the line.
So there's a built-in microphone. They can either turn down the gain on this signal, or we can unplug it, and there's a built-in microphone, and you can talk into it as we talk.
All right, we'll do it in a second. Your ads say that this thing is infallible.
Given 2 assumptions, and we also make those 2 assumptions. First, the individual that you're testing should not be aware that you're testing him. You see, the closure is if you tell a lie, you feel guilt. And if you feel guilty, that induces stress, and that stress can be measured in the voice. It can be measured in your galvanic skin response, a number of indicators.
What happens to the voice when you're lying?
There is an 8 to 14 cycle modulation which disappears when you're under stress. And when that stress occurs, that signal disappears.
How do you know that?
Empirically, the CIA, well, actually during the Second World War, the OSS discovered the principle and the phenomenon. There's nothing new about it. What I did, it was in the middle of Watergate, and as I sat there listening to what was happening, I said, if they could reduce that to a device that would give an instantaneous readout that a reporter could carry in his briefcase and plug it into a telephone as he's doing an interview, that he could really ask the right questions, it would be invaluable. So we miniaturized it. We built our own microprocessor. It's a linear circuit, and we kind of took it from there.
But what's inside this box?
2 fairly complex printed circuit cards that are encapsulated in a resin so that no one can take the circuit apart without destroying the circuit. This was another measure. If you have a proprietary product and you want to keep people from copying it, this is better than patent protection.
And so it records or measures the voice, and it can tell from the modulation, the frequency modulation of the human voice, whether or not there's stress.
That's correct. And when stress is not there, when the lights go green, unless you're a psychopath who can modify his reality any way he wants, you're telling the truth.
So then, while it's a toy, and while it's not a lie detector, and while it's not a judge, it works.
It works. It's a useful tool. If it didn't work, we'd be in deep trouble because everything we sell has to have a money-back guarantee.
And this has one.
Have to, yes.
All right, now I want to take a break, and then you'll show us how to disconnect it from our line, and we'll set up the microphone, and then you can ask me some stuff, or I'll ask you some stuff, and we'll get a pretty good idea of how it goes, okay?
Okay.
We'll be right back after these words from our NBC stations.
You're a cop. You know how guys like me work. Just give me the names. Come on.
Ooh, the second look. You've got it at the optical department at Sears. Get an exciting second pair of fashion frames at prices you can afford. Get fashion frames that will kill him in the evening or shake him up on the job. Get a pair for that outdoorsy look and one for that cozy nook. You deserve a second look. Choose from a wide selection of fashion frames from the great name in eyewear.
The optical department at Sears.
Ah, that was some party.
Yeah, a late one, too. It's after 2 a.m.
Hey, honey, let's stop at Vip's for the 24-hour breakfast special. Bacon, eggs, oh.
How do you like working the late shift?
Yeah, the best part is stopping at Vip's for this 24-hour breakfast special.
Hey, George, taste that bacon.
Yeah, and the fresh eggs.
Catch the 24-hour breakfast special. Bacon, eggs, and French toast at Vip's, the real family restaurant.
The 24-hour breakfast special, only $1.75.
The warmth and talent that is Kenny Rogers brings you 10 years of solid gold. Great hits like Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town.
Take your love to town.
Reuben James, Something's Burning. Daytime Friends. Just dropped in to see what condition my condition is in. Lucille, and more. 10 gold records in one golden album. Kenny Rogers, 10 years of gold on United Artists Records and Tapes.
You've heard it said that word of mouth is the best form of advertising. So we asked Bonnie Davis if she liked doing business with Harris Ford in Linwood.
I do. Yes, I do.
Jimbo Anderson, did you get a good deal on your new car at Harris Ford?
I'm a local businessman, and I expect people to make a fair profit, and when I come to Harris Ford, why, I feel I get a good, fair deal.
You'll always get a fair deal at Harris Ford, because we want you to come back.
From our internal audio lines here, and it's operating under its own power. Before we start, explain why the lights flash the way they do, and why some red and some green flash, and sometimes all green and all red.
All right, the voice is a transitory type of thing, and this, you might reckon this to the Thunderbird turn signal. When you're going to turn left, the lights go one way. So if there's a tendency toward lack of stress, the lights will move in the green. However, if there's a tendency toward more stress, the lights move toward the red. And so all red is heavy stress, all green is very, very light, is no stress.
Who has bought these from you so far? What kinds of people?
Presidents of companies with very large sales, 90% of them. Then of the remaining 10%, we've got maybe 20 entertainers and celebrities. We have psychiatrists who use this to counsel with people who are troubled. You can really get a good profile of their emotional hotspots, as we will do with you.
If you hook this up to a telephone and the other person doesn't know about it, how fair is that?
In certain situations, it's an extreme invasion of privacy. But in the way I intended it to be used is in the business situation, where you and I, if we come together to transmit information that each is going to evaluate to make a business decision, everything is fair game. I'll look at your eyes. The more you blink, that'll tip me off. Your body language. I might even do handwriting analysis. This is simply another indicator. But it'd be insane to use this in a personal situation, like with your wife or your children or a good friend.
How insane would it be?
The reason for that is that there's too many emotional undercurrents. If you come home late tonight after a party or something, and your wife says, how come you're late? And she had one of these, and you said, well, I had to work late. Even if that were true, you'd know a fight was coming, and so you would be anticipating the fight, and your voice would be showing stress due to that and not due to the fact that you might have been working late here or whatever.
What did you do before you invented this?
I was the sales manager for a computer manufacturer, Data General Corporation. They make mini computers. When I joined them, they were $1.5 million in sales, and when I left them, they were about $165 million in sales. And I got a thank you, and I decided I'd rather do this for myself and promote my own electronic products.
Okay. Now ask me a couple things, and then also analyze the answers as we go along. Okay?
All right, I certainly will. These
and
are
remember that we're under a little stress here because we're on television.
Your producers have come up with a few things that may...
Oh, we provided this list of questions.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. They knew some of your hot buttons.
It'll tell me something about them, too.
If you don't want to answer, please don't answer. First, a couple of basic ones, and play it. Tell the truth, use deception or whatever.
Okay.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
I grew up in Chicago.
All right. Say that again.
I grew up in Chicago.
Okay. When you say I grew up, it was green. When the word Chicago was green the first time, red the second time. I think I may have induced stress the second time. You are indeed a Midwesterner and probably did grow up in Chicago.
No, I grew up in Milwaukee.
Okay, then Chicago the second time. That was the reason it showed stress. Are you embarrassed about your age? How old are you?
I'm 41.
Do you feel uptight about that?
Not at all.
Okay. You are, say it again.
I'm 41. I don't feel uptight about it. I can't wait to be 50.
Okay, there was some stress there. Are you 41?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What is your favorite pastime?
I like to play golf, I like to play bridge, and I like toy trains.
Okay, speak up a little bit.
Oh, it's not hitting in the microphone.
Right, right.
Get to the ones at the bottom. Those are the more interesting ones.
All right. How do you feel about the following? Tell me about New York City.
I like New York City a great deal. I lived there 3 years of my life. I hated to leave there in many ways, but I'm very happy to be back in Los Angeles. What the hell are we doing here? Does anybody understand what the hell's going on here?
You did like New York, and you may have some problems in Los Angeles. When you said you're very happy to be in Los Angeles, that did have stress. Are you maybe...
I'm not that happy in Los Angeles.
All right.
But what do you want me to do? Get everybody who lives there with me mad at me?
Let's see. You had recently you hosted a show on marriage, love, sex, and marriage test.
I talked about that last night. I don't want to talk about it tonight.
All right. Tell me about, they wrote down here, anchoring the NBC Nightly News.
I don't want to talk about that either. They wrote all this down,
They did. Here's one I thought up. Dennis Kucinich.
Oh, the mayor of Cleveland.
The mayor of Cleveland, yes.
Ask me something about
Tell me, what are your feelings about Dennis?
I feel good about Dennis. I thought he was a good guest on the show. I like young people being involved in government at the executive level. I think he's going to do a good job there, and I think it's going to be a big change for the city of Cleveland.
Okay, that was very, very green. And you should sit, maybe to lean on this elbow, but that I got a very positive...
No, I really feel that way about him. I'm a big fan of his.
And I understand that you're going to do a show sometime soon in Cleveland.
I wouldn't say soon, but I promised him that we would go to Barney's Beanery or Barney's Diner or whatever it is. Huh? Tony's, I'm sorry. Barney's is in Chicago. Tony's Diner, and do a show with Kucinich in Cleveland, and we're going to keep that promise later on this year.
Okay, that's very, very green, and that's quite a compliment to that guest.
Now let me ask you something.
I wish you could come to Issaquah and do a show at Pick's Restaurant with me, you know.
Now let me ask you one. How good is this product?
I wouldn't back a product that we didn't thoroughly test. There are just more important things to me than pulling off some kind of a deal or something that's not entirely on the ups. We worked for about 2 years on this very diligently. We validated it with our own tests. What is the lights doing?
You're okay so far, because you're under a little stress out here. I understand that.
You get up in the morning, you practice in front of a mirror, and it still comes out like that's because my psychology. What happens is if you were to ask me, is your machine overpriced, Mr. Bennett? I would say obviously it's not overpriced, but my subconscious says, gosh, what if the lights show red and
Of course.
14 million people say, gosh, it's overpriced.
Why is it called the Haygoth Corporation?
Haygoth is a character in the, of all things, the Book of Mormon. All it said about him was he was an extremely curious man, and I thought, I'm curious, but it's a neat name for a company. What do you think of when you think of Haygoth? I think of something, an animal 18 feet tall with 4 tusks and hair from his tummy that touches the ground, you know, kind of a Haygoth. And it looked like a good name for a company.
Okay. What are you going to develop after this?
This is just the baby of our product line. Mr. Spock on Star Trek had a device called a tricorder, and he could aim it at something. You could tell what it was made of, whether or not it was hostile, what it was sick with. This was the ultimate tool. It was portable, battery operated. It would holographically record everything that happened around it. This is where this product is evolving. We'll just add functions to it. The box may change shape.
What do you want it to do 20 years from now?
I'll tell you what it'll do 5 years from now. It'll have a 500-word vocabulary. You'll be able to speak to it. It will be able to speak back to you. It will control many household functions. It will give you many physiological indicators. For example, it will tell you the person sitting across the desk. It will tell you his temperature,
heart rate,
many things about him. It'll be kind of an information-gathering tool and a super toy. Again, I'm a kid with bigger toys, and this is a way to be happy and somehow provide for my family and still have fun.
I think it's a good idea. You know what they say about men's toys? The only difference between the men's toys and boys' toys and girls' toys is that men's toys cost more.
Exactly.
No, I meant that for...
Oh, yeah, no, I've got at home I've got a computer system that takes up one whole room in the house. It's a 16-user time-sharing system.
What do you do with it?
Well, all of our corporate accounting is on it. We play with it. I have a couple of hobbies that I pursue with it. Computer security is a hobby. There isn't a computer that you can reach on the telephone in the country that I don't feel I could break security on and take over.
Good thing you're an honest man.
I hope so.
What do you mean, you hope so?
I hope it's a good thing.
It is. It is. I found in life that the best way to acquire things is to pay for them. Otherwise, you wind up getting in trouble. Thank you for being here tonight, Rick Bennett from the Haygoth Corporation. And while this maybe wasn't the most successful demonstration you've ever had of this thing, we're in a very stressful situation here. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. We will continue with 1069 after these words from our sponsors.